Avast in the white on the right-hand side, and okay, look at what they're going to be running. It looks to be the classic 3-2-1 for Sombra going up against GC Busan Wave, where it's going to be anything but just a standard 3-3.
And they are going to be, and O2 Blast will be running Reinhardt here for this first mid. So no Kaiser, but still the Rein. Both teams rolling out here to the Mega Pack on the jump pad. Just looking for the first engage. Remember, we need to watch these Zarya bubbles. Are so key for the first fight.
Zarya bubbles are important. O2 Blast getting pushed back early. They got into positioning, and Arrow just gets chunked early on. So O2 Blast is going to be taking a breather here. Don't want to suffer any early pickups. Counter poking on the same. And both teams just looking for a decisive advantage right here. And now Villeneuve gets absolutely taken out. A little bit far out. Punished, bashed, gone. And now with man advantage, GC Busan Wave just rushes over them.
That's going to be the picks coming up for GC Busan Wave. Getting those early picks onto Villeneuve, onto Krong, following up. Now, chasing the spawn, moving back towards the point. Edison, already 80% grab. A very good first fight for Edison.
And what went wrong for O2 Blast there? Is it just simply an overextension?
I mean, they did run that Sombra for Krong on that first mid. So GC Busan recognized that and just tried to fight the front line very heavily.
And it is a weakness when you run a Sombra comp like that. Teams can simply go into you. And O2 Blast, they realize that they got the Sombra, but now they're going to be at a disadvantage. Next fight, taking
Edison so low.
He gets low, but he's just going to back out. GC Busan Wave, they understand that it's up to O2 Blast to remove them from the point, so they're just going to sit back, rotate around a bit, say, hey guys, you got to head over to us. Now though, going to drop the grab, looking for the fall through, right there, immediately getting it, and it's just clean gameplay coming in from O2 Blast.
Strong engage from GC Busan Wave, and also from Edison recognizing that he needed to use the grab aggressively. He was looking for it, looking for the opportunity, because he knew that Joy was going to be coming up on that trance very soon. That transcendence very soon for O2 Blast. So good engage for GC Busan Wave, using their advantages from the first fight to just win the next.
So GC Busan now about 2 good fights away. O2 Blast looking for a way back in, and it's going to have to be on proper here.
It is proper. I mean, you want to set up a strong grab engage here, but Krong does not have Diva Bomb, and Fielder will have that trance. So there is not a lot in the arsenal for O2 Blast unless they get this transcendence out of the way for GC Busan.
Proper, gonna open up here the grab. Counter shot coming in from GC Busan Wave. Doesn't get a whole lot of anything. O2 Blast off the engage. Gonna get Brigitte early. Barrier invested by Busan. As they try and bring this back. Self-destruct going up here from Fryer. Not gonna connect. O2 Blast still at the man advantage, but it's taking a while to clean this up. Meanwhile, GC Busan continues to get ticks on the point.
Yes, they're still gonna be building up time, but this is gonna be cleanup now for O2 Blast. Clean up here. Really good engagement for them. They were able to only use the grab, get rid of both the support ults here for GC Busan, both Daydream and Fielder using those support ults, along with Delight using the rally as well. That's all 3 support ults used, and they didn't have to use Diva Bomb. They're holding up plenty of ults for this next fight.
Now the problem here for O2 Blast is that they're going to have to hold pretty much perfect the whole way around. They have some ults in the bank, but it's about using as little as possible.
No, it is. It's all ult economy for them because they can't afford to lose it. Pretty much one fight. One fight is last fight. Here comes GC Busan pushing in very aggressively. Ion Shield low. They're going to get healed up. Edison does have that grab, though. As they rush in, Arrow gets the bash and proper follows up.
He was just a little bit to the right, got isolated immediately, and now Arrow rushing in. That's exactly what O2 Blast needed there, because you take a look at that fight, the only thing they had to use was the rally.
Which was a really, really good, another good engagement for O2 Blast. Arrow seeing that opening, Edison being in front of his team, recognizing that he was not going to be able to save himself, getting the bash off, and then just having proper follow-up, get the cleanup frag. That removes the grab from the equation. O2 Blast holding point.
GC Busan Wave now in a little bit more danger here. O2 Blast is in a great position to win this next fight and might be well set for the next. Nice boop early on here coming in from O2 Blast. Rain able to do that. Almost gives up his life, but no, he's able to get out of dodge, able to get healed back up. O2 Blast, hot retreat, and oh no, before they can transcend, they lose Villain immediately. This is looking really good for GC Busan Wave.
And with proper grab being eaten by Free, that's going to be the grab coming out for Edison. So here comes GC Busan Wave just moving on to point so aggressively, rally out for Delight. It's just cleanup. That was a fantastic engagement. Rain tries to set up the boop shatter, forces the trance early for Fielder for O2 Blast, or not for GC Busan Wave, I should say, but then they were just able to eat the grab and engage on point.
Really works out well. GC Busan Wave now about to finish this out. O2 Blast, they even hit the point. Oh, they just take him out before he can delay even a little bit longer. And, you know, the thing that was really tough there for O2 Blast is that they could have saved that there. They had the support ults to save their Rhine, but the quickness of the engages coming in from GC Busan Wave don't leave a lot of room to react, where the focus fire so far really from both teams has been very good.
It has. I mean, Focus Fire is extremely important in 3-3, and we see GC Busan Wave. We talked about how they have that existing synergy moving into this next season of Contenders, and it's clear that they're a little bit more on the same page. O2 Blast figuring out their just how they want to abuse momentum, how they want to set up their own engages. It's clear they're just not quite at the same level of synergy.
Not quite, but that is only one round done, and things can be turned around. And as we go in here, we do have a difference of compositions. O2 Blast coming out on just a absolutely static 3-3, whereas GC Busan Wave using Edison on the McCree.
Edison, a very strong DPS player, he's skilled on hit scan, and in particular a lot of other heroes in 2. Just playing this high ground, looking for there's the flashbang, taking out Arrow, and this is the opening that GC Busan needs. And
that's what you're looking for as a McCree. You have plenty of room to work with. No one even took a glance at him. I don't even think D.Va realized he was there. And just easy early pickoff on the Brigida. That's what you're looking for in a McCree comp. The danger, though, is that you have to think Edison's going to be getting a lot more pressure on him as we go into the next fight.
Definitely a lot more pressure. O2 Blast should be looking to pressure him, or even just pressure the front line, because while they have them McCree, that means there is no D.Va out on the field, because Free is on the Zarya. They'd rather have the Zarya for the bubbles, for the grab, so they can win the front line where they can eat a lot more damage than GC Busan Wave can on that front line.
I'm just curious to see what Edison's escape plan is going to be here right now. And right now, O2 Blast, I think their plan is ignore the McCree, and it seems to be a bold plan. I think he might be getting a little bit of D.Va pressure. So far, he's had a decent amount of room to work with. A little bit of poke damage coming in, and now we'll see what the end result here is going to be. A little bit of buffering, and it looks like O2 Blast able to get down Delight. So GC Busan Wave in a bit of trouble here.
With Delight down, that is a lot of presence already on a weak front line for GC Busan. Gone. Bubbles are used both teams as there. Krung is going to eat Freeze grab right there. That's so huge for O2 Blast. Now they should have the opening they need.
Edison, though, still alive, and as you get lower numbers, it gets even better from the McCree. Looking for a little bit more. Again, drop the flashbang. Demecking the D.Va. Finishes off the baby at the very end. And for now, Edison has been doing a good job of keeping himself alive, but more than that, O2 Blast is not hunting him effectively.
They are not, but I mean, they have to make a decision. They have to make a decision. Are they going to fight Edison? Are they going to send Krong specifically to go fight Edison, maybe with Rain? Or are they going to focus this front line? They've been choosing to take the front line war. It seems like they had a strong opening there, but they're not cleaning up when they need to.
GC Busan Wave, 1-2 fights away here. O2 Blast moving in proper, holding on to the grab. The one's got to set it up, connects with the grab, pulls in multiple. Edison gets proper right after. Deadeye, use the back, happy little skulls popping up, breaks the Rhine shield, moves in with the McRight click, and this is actually still really good for GC Busan Wave.
And using that, not only that, but using the hiding to break the shield and set up Ion Shatter there. Such good synergy for GC Busan, because it just was one play after another. Even if you were able to deny the McCree, you can break the shield, drop the Shatter.
Last little bit of pressure coming in here, but this is going to be it. GC Busan Wave, a very decisive 2-0 coming out here. O2 Blast going to try and delay, but this is just about all but over, and now is.
Pretty good. Pretty good, I would say.
Pretty good start, and also a clean execution of running a McCree, where we've seen so many times in Overwatch where teams will run a McCree in situations like this, right? And then not get value, because it requires two things. Not only does it require the McCree to be landing shots, where I got news for you, McCree is a hero that people are streaky on, even your very best players, right? You don't always get execution where you're streaky and it's not great, well, you know what, your team's not going to be doing well, but also you require really good protection from your team, and you have to be able to read the other team at the same node. You have to have escape plans planned out, and even though I don't think that a whole lot of good pressure was applied to Edison there, still his execution that was going on with the space he was given was great for that last round.
I mean, it was, and also, I mean, we saw O2 ignoring him.
Yeah.
Which is really even more important than the protection given to Edison, was the fact that O2 was choosing to take these frontline wars. They were trying to play around Edison's line of sight, just win the frontline very quickly, and they weren't. Because the longer the fight runs, the more value Edison should get. And he was getting that value. He was using his high noons very effectively as well, where if you're playing those flank angles, you're making them turn towards you, which gives you an engagement for your Rhine, for your Zarya to move forward. So well played from GC Busan, just capitalizing on their own comp, making sure that O2 is just not denying any of their strengths, and just taking them out from there.
You know what the strategy there from O2 reminded me of? It reminded me of the old school strategy of ignore the Pharah, where like teams running a Pharah comp and the classic response was, well, we're just going to ignore the Pharah. I feel like ignoring a McCree is actually a lot worse than ignoring a Pharah even back in the day, just because of the nature of the burst damage. And also the fact that you're getting high ground, you go near it, it's really rough. But guys, that is map 1, done and over with. We'll be right back for map 2. And we are back here with Contenders Korea. Map 1 already done here. GC Busan Wave versus O2 Blast. And GC Busan Wave looking really, really good on control. But now we'll see if O2 Blast can fight back as we move into our hybrid map. It's going to be Eichenwald.
I found it was pretty interesting there as our light starts flickering. How spooky stream for Contenders.
Yeah, we actually cannot move to fix that right now.
But yeah, we'll get this. We'll get this right out of the way. We're moving to Eichenwald, by the way, stream. That is where we're going.
As you move to turn off the haunted light.
We're just going to turn off the haunted lights. So we're going to have a little less lighting in here. We're going to be very mood-esque.
Yeah, this is moody, Overwatch. It's a little bit earlier in the morning. Tone it down a little bit. Let your eyes adjust, I suppose.
But yes, we are moving onto that hybrid map, Eichenwald. And what we saw was a very dominant showing for GC Busan. I mean, it was clear that they have their set plays, how they're using their compositions was far ahead of O2 Blast so far, which is to be expected because O2 wasn't a team that performed very well in 3-3 last meta, and they've really only added Kaiser and Proper, and we saw Proper in the lineup, but we didn't see Kaiser. Yeah, so they had Villeneuve on that Reinhardt. And which is weird to me because if they're going to be playing Ryan so heavily, why would you not pick up Kaiser from a team that was a much more 3-3-centric team that did a lot better in it? Stormquake.
Yeah, it was very interesting. I mean, going into it, we did expect to see more Winston coming out from O2. We'll see what we get here on Eichenwald, where Eichenwald is a map that you can get away with playing Ryan pretty heavily, although it is a weird mix where a lot of time you'll see teams swap off to Winston pretty heavily for second point, but then prioritize Ryan as you get in the last. And first you can kind of do either way, but Ryan is pretty effective on first.
It is. I mean, you have some more options, especially making that transition from first to second, and then also you have to often make another swap when you move to second, third, into that final capture point. So, just waiting to get in here to our Eichenwald map, and it is interesting also seeing Edison's flexibility there, where he was a hit scan player. You see him on the Zarya in the first stage for Oasis, and then they play for the McCree for the second.
So we'll see if we get any of that flexibility here once more. GC Busan Wave, of course, still in the green. O2 on the white. And taking a look at it here in terms of lineup, it looks like Villain is still in. No sign of Kaiser. There is no Eye of the Storm coming in this time.
No, I'm not seeing the Eye of the Kaiser take the field. I'm not seeing him. Still the same lineup here. Proper still in. Everyone just waiting to get in here. So it is going to be GC Busan on that attack, and I'm guessing. I'm not for sure, but I'm guessing we'll likely see some 3-3.
I think 3-3 is a very educated guess. I think it's bold, but I think it's likely.
Honestly, I really like Arrow's hair, by the way, in this setup. He's got like a mohawk thing going on. He's got a crest, a war crest, and he's ready. It's like, guys, we did really badly last season, but we're going to pop off this season.
I got a new hairstyle. I'm feeling fresh. Let's do it. GC Busan Wave going to be straight out of the gate. 3-3, similar for O2 Blast. We'll see how GC Busan Wave handles his first engagement.
Right now, both teams just playing that 3-3, the mirror matchup. Zarya Bubble's here so important as an armor pack's used early. Bubble out for O2 Blast as there's so much engagement on Villeneuve.
O2 Blast had so much poke damage as they're coming in. Now they just get the roll forward. GC Busan Wave, they took a lot of damage from the back. And, it's rare to say, hey, Lucio's doing a lot of damage, but look at Rain. Rain is doing a lot in that fight. 38% to ult.
I mean, the support ults in general.
Yeah.
Both Rain and Joy just ahead right now. They did a lot of damage to your supports. A huge part of your spam, actually. Not something you would expect, but with Xin being such a huge damage dealer, O2 Blast had a much better engagement, especially with that early armor pack from the light.
And again, you see Rain on top. Gonna get back inside a little bit. Oh, Fielder already down. Caught early in the fight. And this is very nice position coming up from O2 Blast where they're just collapsing GC Busan Wave. They're not letting them get in through the archway. It's been so effective.
And once again, the poke was integral there in that entry point, in that fight win for O2 Blast. Fielder dropped so low from that spam damage, from that fire strike from Villeneuve, and then they're just able to pick him up. That's going to be Joy picking him up on that backline with the Discord orb on him.
And this style of 3-3, even compared to the Overwatch League, it's so focused on just isolating one target and getting them down early. Once one person is low, it's like Piranhas in the wire, but now both teams getting into it. Rally used it from both sides. Heavy engages. Graviton ready on both ends, so it's about to go hot here as Edison and Proper both waiting. GC Busan Wave making room. They top the grab here. They get Reinhardt stuck in it. Self-destruct. Not in. Does not connect for GC Busan Wave. O2 Blast going to drop the Shatter, and Villain drops two. They get the focus fire, and that's going to be enough.
That is an absolutely great Shatter. They were able to break the shield for Ion, keep GC Busan Wave isolated there, making sure they couldn't fall off the grab with the grab of their own, the counter grab from Proper, surviving. O2 Blast really, really good counter engagement for them. Villanelle recognizing that the shield presence was so strong against Ion.
And the thing about O2 Blast is that they're making GC Busan Wave just work for every meter. Nothing is easy in getting into this courtyard.
No, you don't want to make it easy either. And that's the strength of the 3-3 is that you can afford to hold so aggressively, get these cooldowns out early.
GC Busan Wave going to engage aggressively. Barrier out early, moving in. O2 Blast going to counter the barrier of their own. It's later. It's a bit better for them, but they're still backing up.
Look at Proper's grab, by the way. His grab percentage already 95%. He has it. He's far ahead of Edison.
That's really quick, and now for Proper. They don't realize it. They're all grouped up. Proper just waiting. Shatter comes down, blocked off by the shield, countered by the grab, and here comes O2 Blast back the other way, off the early grab. They get to Light Daydream, and now they're looking very likely, potentially, to get a first point hold.
There's going to be the late pick onto Fielder, and that was great from Proper. He just outbuilt Edison so hard. That was before Fielder had the trance and Daydream. He used the beat early for the engagement, trying to catch Arrow, trying to catch Villanelle, and they got neither because all the cooldowns were still up for O2 Blast. So well played.
Very, very well played. And O2 Blast now about 1 minute away here. GC Busan Wave going to move in. Edison still holding on to the grab. The grab here going to be absolutely vital as they roll in. Lucio coming in off the flank. Graviton going to connect. O2 Blast all together. Transcendence out. And Transcendence can be enough to keep O2 Blast in a good spot here. GC Busan Wave now about to be out of firepower as they roll in, but they get the Shatter right when they need it most. Arrow going to be knocked down. They move on in off the Shatter, and that's finally going to be enough for GC Busan Wave to likely get this point.
Huge Shatter from Ion, recognizing that Villanelle was split, just trying to catch anyone there while the shield was away from the rest of the O2 Blast team. He gets 2 down, and they surge forward, pick up those. And that's going to be GC Busan Wave picking up first. They will have some ults moving into second. Not a lot on the board for O2 Blast.
And it was so important for Ion there as well. The Earth Shatter key, if it didn't go well, it was going to be very unlikely that they'd be able to take that point, at least in a clean fashion. But it's a very good defense for O2 Blast. It bought a lot of time.
It is. I mean, that's a solid first defense. That's what you want to see. We saw a very, very much better performance, I think, so far on Hybrid.
Now both teams going to get into it here once more. O2 Blast, they drop the grab in the back line. Going to be picking up 3, diving on into it aggressively. Both Zarya's down, but it still might be enough here for GC Busan Wave. Villain going to drop the Shatter.
Missing completely.
Oh, man, that was a ambitious Shatter at best. But even still, O2 Blast likely getting from the fight, but they even invest the grab. This is a hard-fought win in the sense that they invested a lot.
They didn't even win.
Yeah,
they didn't even win. They didn't stop the cart. There was no cart stop. They could test it for a bit, but now GC Busan Wave are still moving forward. Yeah. They didn't get any value out of it. And their ults, Proper committed his life to try to follow up on the grab.
That was a bit over-ambitious in multiple levels here, but now they're going to go into the rally. The Transcendence back it up. GC Busan Wave working with a lot more in this fight. Ion get an early Shatter, knocks down exactly what he's looking for. Transcend out just to try and mitigate it. But GC Busan Wave now working a big advantage. Rally in, here comes a grab, and they're just going to dive on in, but it's too aggressive. Ion gets melted, he comes in from the side. GC Busan Wave still in a decent spot though, despite the early Rhine falling. It's going to be enough for them to get this fight.
I mean, there was an early beat from Rain, so they did not get peak shields. O2 Blast did not get peak shields to survive that grab. Delight was using that rally at the same time, so even though Ion dies trying to go for swings, Delight has so much health, he's able to just ensure the cleanup on that grab when there's no support ults up for O2.
And O2, as they're coming out here, how do you break a team just holding this aggressively on you and Ike involved?
I mean, O2 is close to a lot of tank ults of their own. They have the Shatter. They're going to drop the Shatter, get 2 down, and right now there's the trance forced from Fielder as there goes Edison off the map.
You know, you can transcend and heal people. You can't really make them anti-gravity. Edison falling into the brink, and that boop, so good for O2 Blast and letting them retake the fight.
Strong follow-up from Rain there, recognizing that Edison was on the ground from the Shatter and going for the boop. He can't recover himself. There's no bubbles. So I was about to go into, you know, how do you break the hold? And that's exactly it. You try to get value out of your Shatter, and only having to use the Shatter there, not even have to use their combo at all, not the Zarya, not the Diva Bomb, was really, really strong for O2.
O2 now on the verge of holding off GC Busan Wave here on second. GC Busan Wave, they need Ion to be the hero again.
Ion, once again, he has that Shatter up. I mean, Free is coming up on that Diva Bomb, so they can maybe set up a potential Diva Shatter combo here, just trying to isolate that shield, isolate targets. But O2, they can look to engage first. There are no support ults up yet for GC Busan.
O2, they're just draining the clock right now, but now they should probably go in. Early aggressive boop attempt coming in. They have to use the armor pack early in response. Now GC Busan Wave moving in, they get Joy! O2 Blast have been playing so fast, and the grab's eaten! Oh, here comes GC Busan Wave. Exactly what they needed there against the wall. Shatter can be dropped, knocks down Proper. They finish him on off, and suddenly it's GC Busan Wave piercing through the point B.
That was very, very good. Edison, I don't even think had to commit that grab for that fight. There were, I mean, they didn't have trance. they weren't going to be able to really contest this. Here come the rest of GC Busan chasing so aggressively, trying to catch these stragglers, these split spawns on Eichenwald. I don't even know if Edison did have to commit that grab, but he's building relatively quickly. But well played, and also an interesting choice of Arrow to invest the rally after O2 Blast was down too. They didn't have the support to survive. I don't know if that rally was worth it.
Not quite, but I think for GC Busan Wave, they just wanted to make sure they got through. Self-destruct going to be used here early by O2 Blast, a little bit off the mark. Transcendence already in play. GC Busan Wave, 3 knockdown there, but still in a really interesting fight here. Back and forth, nice shatter coming in from on, going to be knocking down more. They move on in, Rhine down, but both Rhines out of the fight. O2 Blast is fighting this back. Barrier is up. And that barrier might have done enough for O2 Blast to sustain in the fight.
Oh, they definitely did sustain there. Despite losing Villeneuve to that Shatter of Ion, the shield presence for GC Busan was so strong there, using that trance after the Shatter to focus him down. Rain was able to drop a late beat. O2 Blast picked up his frags, and it was just a cleanup from there.
So final fight here for GC Busan Wave. No Ion Shatter to bail them out. Edison, though, going to have the grab. It's all up to the grab bomb.
It is. Grab Bomb is going to be pretty much the opening factor here for GC Busan. Arrow, though, not going to give him a chance to use it, using the rally very early. Proper, so aggressive for the grab, does manage to get it off.
Grab coming in early from O2 Blast. Arrow there for the fall through, and it's easy clean for O2 Blast. GC Busan Wave not going to have a chance to retaliate here. The payload stopping before its final point here in Eichenwald, and this has been a pretty good defense from O2 Blast.
O2 Blast look a lot stronger on Hybrid. They look much better on Eichenwald than they did on Control. Obviously, we're still going to have to see GC Busan's defense. We're going to have to see O2 Blast's offense. But they looked like they had a much clearer idea of how they wanted to play. And also, there was no trickery. There was no composition change-up for GC Busan.
Yep. So, guys, we're going to be taking a quick break in between rounds. We will be right back. And we are back. The break was short. We told you it would be, but now we're changing sides here. GC Busan Wave going to be here on the defense, and we'll see if they can put up something that's as formidable as O2 Blast did just a round ago.
And I did like a lot how they were able to really, they utilized their aggression a lot better than they did on Oasis. They were making sure to recognize, hey, GC Busan's coming in with that combo, moving into last. It's their final push. Arrow, let's be aggressive into them with the rally. Stop them from getting a setup and getting any free card time.
O2 Blast, we'll see how they approach this. And GC Busan Wave, they are keeping D.Va on top. They're not being quite as aggressive on the top defense. And O2 Blast, they do rotate in a lot cleaner than what we saw from GC Busan Wave a previous round ago. Now we'll see if they can keep it up. A lot of poke damage, moving in on both sides. Free, eating a lot here, getting real close to being demeched here on the defense, just barely able to get out of the fire. But for how long? 20 HP, that is not much as a D.Va. Meanwhile, while he's out of the fight, no one's there to protect Ion, and O2 Blast methodical in their tank pressure.
Yes, that was so much damage coming out onto Free, and Free, he actually had a great setup there. Joy cleaning up. Daydream is going to pick up Villeneuve. Edison picking up Arrow, but it's over. That's the frag. That's the cap. But it was really Free. He was in a great position. The reason you play on that top of that bridge is you try to get a lot of spam damage early on the shield presence, maybe even boop someone out of position. And he had great displacement, great damage, but he took too much in return, and they had to split their resources. O2 Blast had to split, or not O2 Blast, but GC Busan Wave had to split the resources between Ion and Free. So
O2 Blast already on a much better path here this map. Not only good defense, but a good start to the offense as well. GC Busan me dropping in off the top. Early rally. Edison holding onto the grab. They're going to get caught by O2 first.
Fielder, he doesn't have trance yet.
Oh, they had no response to that. It was a quick strike from O2 Blast, and already the fight is going to be over. They're going to get so much payload progress off of that engagement.
The only saving grace for GC Busan Wave there was it almost was great that Fielder did not have Transcendence yet, because they were able to trade their rally for Arrow's rally and also get the D.Va Bomb and the Zarya grab out of the fight for O2. and pretty early. That was still at the door, still at the doors to first, leading to second.
So it's going to be very important here is for GC Busan Wave to win this fight. They have the advantage. It's not about if they should win. They absolutely should. Delight, though, focus down. The drop down was bad for GC Busan Wave. It wasn't coordinated. It left Delight out in the cold. Villain going to drop the shatter. Knocks down multiple in the back. Self-destruct coming in from GC Busan Wave. Doesn't do a whole lot. And it's O2 Blast again, getting the better engagement. Eichenwald has been their jam so far.
And that shatter from Villeneuve was so important. He was able to keep the follow-up from Fielder, from Daydream. They weren't having any shield presence for the bomb. They weren't able to pop support ults to keep Ion alive in time. They're out of position. So Villeneuve, despite trading his life, that was so key, keeping the supports out of the fight, keeping the transcendents out of the fight.
And the key for GC Busan Wave there too, they had so many ults and they just don't really capitalize on. Now they're in a much worse position where, all right, they still have double support ults. It's still a fight they can win, but they've given up so much.
They've given up a lot of space, but I mean, they're just going to make O2 Blast right now rotate. They're trying to find a much better engage, maybe take this high ground, go from the right side. Right now, O2 Blast, they're looking to just build up their grab. Edison's grab, Krong's Diva Bomb is so important.
And this is smart for O2 Blast. I think they realize they're a little bit drained. They back out a little bit, give themselves time to recover. And now they have some options here. Krong, Diva, self-destruct, ready. GC Busan, though, they want to take this fight. They move in, but after they barrier, they get caught in the ground. Self-destruct, moving up here, grab bomb, connects. 2 coming in from Krong, and O2 Blast. Again, intelligent gameplay that's going to win them point B.
And that was once again, Ion was holding extremely aggressive there, waiting for O2 Blast to come off that ramp from that high ground, and he was actually forced Daydream to beat early and put the rest of GC Busan in a not a great defensive position. Set up the grab, good charge from Villeneuve, moving the shield, moving the barrier to set up the Diva Bomb so Krong could get that 2K. And now O2 Blast are on last, and they have almost 4.5 minutes to push last, and not even full cap.
This is a very tough spot for GC Busan Wave to be in. Even with the defender's advantage on point C, they're going to have to be nothing but perfect here. O2 Blast moving in, using the rally, speeding forward. Nice shatter coming in from Villain, and that could be the dagger in the heart here as O2 Blast, they get the early advantage. Everyone's still totally healthy, proper, drops the grab, gets really low, but got the grab off before falling, and his work will be remembered here as O2 Blast well on their way to finishing out, but it's good delay from GC Busan Wave at the back.
It is, and also free getting the DMAC onto Krong is probably one of the best things you could have happen there. Proper, making the swap up to Zarya, he's used the grab, he's coming back on that Doomfist. Right now, double support for O2.
Ion has Shatter. He's trying to be sneaky with it, but no, can't turn around the corner quite in time. Instead, just kind of overextending a little bit, but trying to put them off the cart.
Block.
Earth Shatter doesn't get anything.
Oh, no, he gets 2 down in the back, actually.
It's not a situation where they could follow up on those. The problem is that it buys a little bit of time. O2 Blast, though, still plenty healthy. Proper now. The Doomfist finds the light. Early pick off. O2 Blast taking advantage here. They finish off Ion, and this time everyone is still nice and healthy. This should be O2 Blast finishing off Eichenwald, and what is an incredible reversal of fortune from what we saw just a map ago.
It was. I mean, that was just O2 Blast. They had the much better ult economy throughout all of that. On top of that, they just seemed to be able to capitalize on their combos much more effectively. So really well played from O2. They definitely had the much better setups. And also it just looked like, it seems like GC Busan was not, it seemed like they were just looking to be at times too aggressive. Like, I mean, that aggression worked out on Oasis, but in the 3-3, they often the drop downs, they're not using the ults in time. They didn't have the synergy. You know, it's weird. We talked about their synergy, but the synergy wasn't there.
Yeah. I'd say their biggest thing that was hurting them at Eichenwald more than anything else was dealing with verticality. Both when they were on the attack, what did we see? Just really good pressure coming in from above from O2 that was continually slowing them down. And then when they tried to do the same thing on their defense, what happened? Well, it wasn't all in sync. You lose your Brigida early. You know what? That's not an ideal circumstance.
It is, and the ults were not in sync either. And Ion in particular he was looking to be aggressive, and they were pressuring him extremely hard. He was losing the shield war a lot of the time. We see Villeneuve setting up those great shatters, especially on that last fight. And a lot of it was because of the shield presence onto Ion. So GC Busan Wave could have been the fact that maybe they were hesitant with their ults. They need to commit faster because part of the resources you have to worry about, part of the cooldowns you have to worry about in 3-3 is that Ryan barrier. Yeah. It blocks shatters, it blocks damage to your team, allows you to engage, keeps you alive in Diva Bombs. So if you're losing the shield war, then you were without using your ult in time, then you were going to lose the fight post ults.
Yeah, and again, I would just say here, if we had to nail down one moment in the game where on the defense where GC Busan Wave really lost it, I would just point to that middle fight on Eichenwald where they had a dramatic ult advantage going in. And what's the one way to throw away ult advantage in Overwatch? Have someone get picked off early for free. And that's what happened there. And That just, it completely ruined any chance I had of getting momentum in the game and pulling it back. But it's also because O2 Blast was playing really well with also very good focus fire. This is a theme.
The focus fire was really good for O2 Blast.
Yeah. And also, I mean, overall in the series, it's been good for both teams. And again, we've watched a lot of Overwatch League as well. And there's moments here where I'm just surprised at how good both teams are at just seeing, hey, this guy's a little bit weak, finish him off. But it's about knowing your win conditions in a 3-3 setup, right? Teams can't easily bring things back once you lose someone early. But guys, this is one half of gameplay done. It's 1-1. You're not going to miss the conclusion. We'll be back after the break.